You're listening to Off the Vine with Kaitlyn Bristowe.
Hey, Vinos, real quick, if you are listening right now, which obviously you are, or you wouldn't be hearing this, can you hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're on? Please. That one simple thing helps more than you even realize. It allows me to keep growing on this podcast and making these episodes the best they can possibly be, obviously for you. That's the only favor I'm going to ever ask, okay? It truly means the world to me. Thank you. Now let's get into it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Bristowe, and today was a really wild ride down memory lane from 10 years ago. Mr. Joe Bailey from Kentucky with his Southern accent was here in the studio. And honestly, still same sense of humor, but it was nice because he actually opened up about how hard of a time he went through after his stint in Paradise and what that did to pivot his whole life. So I really appreciated him opening up, but also making me giggle like the way he did 10 years ago. So have fun with Joe Bailey. Joe Bailey, everyone that I was talking to, like Ben Higgins, Jared, Ben Z, they were like, is Joe Bailey coming on? And I was like, he's going to be sitting right there too. Why do I immediately want to go into a country accent when I talk to you?
I don't know.
It was because the first night you said something, ma'am, and I grew up in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And you said ma'am, and I remember being like, oh my God, this is so Southern. And I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, there was a couple other phrases that I said throughout the season that you kind of liked. So
yeah, I did. Like what the other one you said, sweetheart.
I said sweetheart a lot.
Sweetheart.
I said yes ma'am, no ma'am.
Yep.
There was one other. I wish I could remember.
Which date was it? Because I've been rewatching and maybe I could tell you. I like the bloopers where you're like, I'm going to have to excuse myself, sweetheart. And you just go pee in the bushes.
I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah. The bloopers were so funny. But yeah, you grew up in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a strong accent and that Southern charm. That's part of who we are. And
yeah,
that kind of stands out sometimes.
Well, I feel like they cast, for so many different reasons. They cast the Ryan McDills of the group. They cast like the Sean Booths of the group. And then you always have to have your like classic country boy. I feel like you were that.
Always.
And especially because I came from Chris Soule's season, I clearly liked the country life. So maybe they threw you in there for that. How did you even get on the show? Did you apply? Did somebody apply for you?
I have several aunts. They were like, oh, you'd be great. Like, we need to get you on there. And I was like, look, you guys do it. Fill out the applications, take the pictures. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't 2 weeks later. They had everything done.
Really?
Yeah. Appointment set up to take pictures, mailed them in. And I was like, oh, we'll never hear anything. And then at the end of October, I got a phone call from the Bachelorette saying, hey, would you come to Nashville to do an interview?
Oh, they brought you to Nashville?
Yeah, I drove to Nashville to interview with two producers, Sunny, and there was another woman, and I don't remember her name. That's been 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's hard to remember.
And actually, that's where I initially met Cupcake.
Really?
He had went in before I did, and of course, me, I'd kind of made a joke or something, and and he kind of comes out and said, "Good luck, man." And I was like, "All right, you too."
Really?
Yeah. So I go in with the interview, and we're in there with the two producers, and it's all supposed to be like 30, 40 minutes. I was in there for almost 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Just shooting the shit?
Yeah. Just laughing, having a big time.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And then it's like, all right, Joe, well, we're going to call it a day because if not, we'll be here all night. And then as I'm going to the elevator, they kind of run down the hall and they follow him and they say, look, you're a shoe-in. You're one of the 25 guys. We love you.
Amazing.
Just don't tell anybody. We'll fly you out to LA and the rest is history.
Isn't that weird when they say don't tell anybody? Because you're like, my life is about to be on national television. Right. How do I not tell? Like, did you tell your family or like? I
didn't tell anybody for the longest. Didn't say. I was so scared. I was like, I don't want to ruin this.
You just went off the grid?
I didn't tell anybody. And then it was probably around Christmas time. I told my mom and dad, my parents and my sister. I was like, something big's going to happen with that. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get in.
Yeah.
They're like, well, don't count your chickens before they hatch. There's another Southern slang. Yeah. And then they flew me out to LA and I met some more producers and everything went well. And it was history after that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that story. I've been asking all the guys the story because I never know how you actually got onto the show. I think I knew Jared's sister signed him up, but that was pretty much all I knew.
When they say, oh, you're a shoe-in, like you're still like, yeah, right. They tell everybody that,
Well, good for you because I believe everything I'm told. And when they tell me things are happening, I go, oh, it's happening. And then I get disappointed.
Sure.
So you ended up going on, you told your family. What was the reaction like you coming back? Because was it a small town or was it?
Oh, extremely small town.
Yeah. Like what was the reaction when you came back and it was airing?
When it was airing on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone was ecstatic. Everybody was my best friend. Everybody wanted to take pictures and all that stuff. So it was kind of cool for a little bit.
Did you do like watching parties? Did you watch it back?
I did. I did with my family. we watched the first night, and it was very cringeworthy. Like, you have
No
no
way.
idea. Yeah, I thought it was terrible. I was like, man, do I really sound like that?
I feel like that's everybody who goes on TV, but I thought you actually stood out in a good way on the first episode.
Oh, I thought I did as well, but it was still cringy.
Still cringe.
To watch
It's hard to watch yourself back on anything. I can't even watch my own podcast back or listen to them back because I'm like, oh, shut up, Kaitlyn. I find myself
Really?
yeah.
See, I think you do a good job.
Well, thank you. But you a big Off the Vine listener?
Every now and then, I had to kind of get my stuff, do some homework before I came on.
Well, did you watch The Bachelor before you went on it?
I'd watched it on YouTube a little bit.
Really?
So I had an idea. So obviously, and I still remember this when the limousine pulls up. Obviously, we had 2 bachelorettes. We had you and Brittany.
I'm like, I love that you don't remember, but yes, Britt,
I don't because let's just face it. Like, I don't think anybody really wanted that one to happen.
Jared did.
Well, Jared did, and you kept him around till the final 3.
I know
4.
what a ding dong I was. I should have sent him his ass home night 1.
And I still remember the limousine pulls up.
Yeah.
And of course, they had just got the water hose and sprayed the rocks down there. You were.
Make it look all glassy.
Right. And I'm saying, like, holy shit, this is really about to happen.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, out of the 25 guys, I was the 24th guy to meet you that night. Ben Z.
Were you the 24th?
Yeah. Ben Z was after me. And then you walk in. Of course, I don't remember anything I said to you. It was like I was on a hoverboard. I just kind of floated up to you. And
you brought me moonshine.
Yeah, I remember that. But I don't remember what I said to you.
Yeah.
And then you go into the mansion. And of course, like, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. And that's a good looking dude.
Yeah.
That's a better looking dude. I was like, man, like, what's going on? And then you start
guys.
sizing up your competition.
Yeah.
And then about 30 minutes later, I was like, well, if I play my cards right, I'm going to be here for a little bit. That guy's weird. That guy can't talk to a wall. That guy's a douchebag. I really did. And I was just be cool. Don't drink too much. Yep. And what happens?
Did you drink too much?
No, there's one guy or 2 guys that do drink too much, and then they fall in the pool and
they get sent home.
They get sent home.
Yeah, I mean, you did. You played it cool that night.
Absolutely, had to.
Yeah, you did. Wait, I'm trying to think of who did you size up? Who were you like? You're the douchebag. You can't talk to a wall.
Oh, I don't want to call any names.
Okay.
I don't want to point any names. But
I could probably guess.
Oh, absolutely.
I could probably guess a couple. And then, so you just watched some YouTube clips. So you knew, like, okay, I'm going to meet. Well, you were meeting 2, but then I'm going to have to, like, you saw clips of like dates and people getting roses. So you kind of knew the gist of the show.
I knew the gist of it. I knew it was going to happen.
Okay.
You're standing there for the rose ceremony, and I'll never forget this. We were standing on night 1 on the ceremony waiting, and then you could hear the birds chirping.
Yeah.
And someone was like, God, they're really good. They got great sound effects. And I was like, I leaned, I was like, you dumbass, that's real birds outside.
Yeah, it's 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's like 7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
He was like, oh man, really? I was like, yeah, like.
It's crazy because it stays, I don't know if it stays dark. I can't remember, but I feel like around that time of year, it gets bright at like 6:30, 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you don't realize because there's not clocks. Nobody's telling you what time it is. And your adrenaline is going so crazy that it's like Vegas. And then all of a sudden the birds are chirping and you're like, what am I doing? I'm standing with a bunch of men getting roses to date 1 woman and the birds are chirping. Like, what's happening?
Right. Like,
was it just a whirlwind? Like, what was the experience like from what you thought from watching on YouTube to what it actually was?
Actually, when you watch it on YouTube, it doesn't put everything into perspective. Like, you don't understand what everyone's going through. I didn't realize that it was 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I thought it would be 11, 12. I had no idea.
Right.
But when you're actually in that moment, and then, you kind of build a camaraderie with some of the guys, and you're kind of like, man, it's kind of cool. Like, I kind of want to stay a little longer. Then you kind of put pressure on yourself, and before you know it, you're sweating bullets and you got your fingers crossed behind your back, hoping you get a rose.
When you left to go film the show, was that exciting or were you scared to change your normal everyday life?
No, it was exciting for me. Anything new and off the grid like that was, not many people can say they were on the Bachelorette.
Right.
And that's something that I knew if I got the opportunity, I was going to do it. I wasn't going to say no. And then once I got there and you kind of get comfortable with everything, it's just like anything else. It becomes second nature. Yeah.
You get so wrapped up in it by like you eat, sleep, and breathe being a contestant. So it's like you're obviously not on your phone, TV, nothing. And you're only with producers all the time who are constantly talking about me and the situation. So it's like, it's weird how fast it becomes normal.
It really is. And like there's cameras everywhere and it's just like, another day.
Yeah. Like you make friends with the camera crew and then you're like, hey, Mike, like, how's your morning going? And they're like,
Right.
shut up, don't look at the camera.
Like, and me too, my personality, like I'm very outgoing.
Yeah.
Like I made friends with everyone. Like, you know, I'd get bored, just go down and just sit around, help clean dishes and talk to one of the producers. And
Yeah.
and then there's been several of the producers, like, you know, out of all the years, we've never had a guy that's been so popular in the house amongst
Aw.
everyone else.
Yeah, everybody did love you.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like we've never had that.
Yeah.
Like everybody was just Joe Bailey, Joe Bailey, Joe Bailey. And I was like, well, that's great. That's wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
kind of lightens the
Everyone
load a
loved
little.
you.
Everyone lightens the load.
You, I feel like, and Cupcake were like the lights of the house in very different ways. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Cupcake was just so happy, go lucky, positive, sweet. And you were like so funny, but also like you said, washing dishes and just hanging out with
Yeah.
producers. I feel
Yeah.
like you were just being you. You weren't trying too
Absolutely.
hard, you know, to do
And you
anything
spend-
else.
In my defense, too, you spend a lot of I spent a lot of downtime in the mansion those first couple of weeks. You know,
Yeah.
you're hanging out with the guys, and I know guys will be guys.
Who did you bond with?
Initially, first it was probably me and Tanner. We bonded.
Yeah.
One of the days we were in the jacuzzi eating Oreos.
They like chose to not use you guys as the bromance.
No. And then there was obviously Sean Booth was doing push-ups and working out. And we're like, God,
Classic.
that's so overrated. So we were literally eating Oreos and dipping them in milk at like 10 o'clock in the morning. He was working out. No, but me, Tanner, Sean Booth, Ben H, me and JJ we shared a bond there for a few days until
Yeah.
all of his bromance went astray there for a little bit.
I loved watching the bromance back. I thought it was
Jared
cute.
and Joshua, you know, those were, you know, you kind of pick out who you get along with the best.
Yeah.
And that we just all kind of gravitated to one another.
It's funny because the ones that gravitated, I feel like the ones that were all friends were the ones that I always liked too the most. Like going through
Absolutely.
it. You guys, I was
Mhm.
like, oh, that makes sense.
And I really believe to this day, because we had such a strong bond, there was no animosity toward one another.
Okay, broken record. Here she goes again. Let's talk skincare. Because if you're looking to make some clean, non-toxic switches this summer, your skincare routine is the perfect place to start. And let me put you on to Dime Beauty if I haven't already. I talk about it pretty much every podcast. It was founded by a master esthetician, so obviously this brand is not messing around. They've got everything from skincare, beauty, body care, to even fragrance, all made with clean, non-toxic ingredients that are good for your skin and your peace of mind. And okay, I have to rave for a second about their Wonder Screen SPF 30. I use it. It's a mineral sunscreen, which means it sits on top of your skin instead of getting absorbed into your bloodstream like traditional sunscreens. This one is lightweight, not greasy, no white cast, and it comes in tinted glow shades and untinted, so it can double as makeup. Love a multitasker. Also, I've been using their new Nourishing Cleansing Oil. I love a luxurious cleansing oil. Okay, it melts off your makeup, SPF, all the dirt from the day, leaves your skin feeling so soft and hydrated. It's giving spa. It's giving spa night energy, but at home in my robe with wine. Possibly sometimes. I just love it. There are thousands of 5-star reviews. They don't lie. And once you try it, you will totally get the hype. So revive your skin and give yourself a clean, routine refresh that you deserve. Go to dimebeautyco.com today. That's dimebeautyco.com. dimebeautyco.com. Okay, now that I'm a booby girl, let's get real about bras. Your bra should not leave marks, okay? Your underwear should have you fully covered for everything. Periods, leaks, sweat. I was going to say something else for that, but you name it. And your period, honestly, it shouldn't stop you from doing anything. So that is why I'm loving Knix. That's KNIX everyday intimates that actually work for real bodies and real life. Their bras are just so comfortable, so supportive. And let's talk about their leak-proof underwear, okay? North America's #1, and for good reason. They look and feel like your favorite pair, but with built-in, totally incognito period protection. Whether it's a full flow day, light leaks, or just those random moments you weren't expecting, I still say to this day, I'm like, I'm 40. You would think I would know when to expect it, but not always. Plus, they come in all sorts of color styles, prints, so you're never gonna wanna go back to regular old undies ever again. And now with summer heat here, one of my favorite things from Knix has been the Thigh Saver. These go under your summer outfits to keep you comfortable, cool, and most importantly, no chafing, no rubbing. They're as light as air. They're stretchy. They don't do that roll down thing that some undergarments do. And they have a gentle tummy smoothing effect. Now, I've been reaching for them nonstop this season. I love them. So if you want to try them out, head over to Knix.com and use code VINE to get 15% off your order. Again, that's KNIX.com, code VINE, Knix.com, KNIX.com. What is like the most memorable moment for you of the whole filming, like the whole time you were there?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
Thanks. I'm a podcast host.
Wow. That's really good. The most memorable?
Like if you think back on your time, either like a hilarious, like to me, one of your most memorable moments on and off camera was your ball sack showing. I mean, that was hilarious.
That's embarrassing.
No, it's not. It's so funny. You didn't give
I have
a
a
shit.
funny story about that, though.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
So, the Mawashi or the sumo date,
Yeah.
like they come in and the two sumo wrestlers are sitting on the edge of the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that we were just going to keep our boxers on and they were just
Right.
going to put the Mawashi
Over it.
We had to strip butt naked.
I heard people were like shaving and like.
And little Joe was making eye contact with a sumo wrestler. You know how embarrassing that is? Little Joe was looking right in the eye and he was just putting the Mawashi on.
Oh, wow.
Cranked it too. Super tight.
Ow.
Little Joe folded up like an accordion. No, I'm being
I love that
serious.
you
Like
don't
it
call
was,
Big Joe.
I was like, ugh, like that. He said, you okay? I said, yeah, great. Tightened it up. I was like, man, this is rough. And it was like a coarse fabric too. It wasn't like silk.
Oh, I got to put one on too. Yeah,
Oh, it
that's
was
not.
miserable.
Yeah.
Then me and JJ were walking down the steps. About the fifth step, it bloop. That was the sound effect. Like it went bloop, just kind of all of it popped out the side. And I said, oh God, that's not good. JJ said, what happened? I said, I think the meat and taters came out. And he got to the bottom and turned around and looked. He said, oh my God, Joe, it is all out. I said, all of it? He was, well, not all of it. You know, the little Joe was still tucked away, but everything else was out. So for 30, 45 minutes, I just had fun with it. You know, I went over, sat by Sean Booth and kind of spread my legs out. I was like, these damn producers, they leave their bubble gum everywhere. Look, Sean, I've sat in bubble gum. And of course, it's all laid out on all over the leather sofa. He's like, that's disgusting, man. Get out of here.
It was so funny.
Yeah. Then we go sit
And
on
you
the mat.
owned it.
We go outside and we sit on the mat to stretch. And then all of it's laying on the mat, just sizzling in the hot sun like eggs. Like it was terrible. I think
That's literally so memorable.
That was like the breakthrough moment for myself and all the guys. They're like, this dude just really doesn't care. Like he's just here to have a good time, drink a couple of beers, and if he falls in love, he falls in love. But you know,
That's what it was. I was like, this guy's just, you were a good time. You had no shame in your game. You were just like, here it is. That's what you said. You're like, nothing I can do about it, sweetheart.
That's exactly what I said. It's like, nothing I can do about it, sweetheart. Sorry.
I was funny because I remember, like, I can picture your nut. If I think about it right now, I know what it looks like. How does that make you feel?
Feels good.
Okay, good.
Feels real good that you can remember it. And I still have a scar on it to this day.
From the Mawashi?
It had rubbed me and I got a little scar right there. Great conversation starter.
Oh, yeah.
Great conversation
I
starter.
bet the ladies love that story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 10 years ago on The Bachelorette, I had to wear it in the wash, and this is the scar.
And then you pull up the YouTube video.
Absolutely.
I would do that.
Absolutely.
That to me, my like old man cackle laugh. That was like, I could not stop laughing.
You had several moments like that.
Yeah. Well, especially with you. You were funny.
Yeah. I didn't pack any clothes. I had maybe a pair of suit pants, a blazer, a pair of jeans, shorts.
So what did you do? Just recycle?
I had to borrow other people's jackets. And then, of course, when we got to New York later on, I did a little shopping. But yeah.
Because it was cold when we were in New York.
Brutal.
And they made you guys do a lot of B-roll outside.
Oh, on City Field?
Oh, City Field.
We had the roast ceremony. We was out there for 45 minutes.
Do you know it was like 27, I think, degrees?
Yeah. And you
Wait, no. Colder than that.
You come out in a fur coat.
Yeah.
Just prancing scarf on, and here we're like shaking out in the middle, like 30-mile-an-hour winds, like freezing.
It was actually so cold. And I was so bundled up. I had heaters strapped everywhere to me. And I was like, that's kind of nice.
Oh, I wish I didn't know that.
That was some serious thunder. Okay. And you had the 2-on-1, which people dread a 2-on-1 date, which I feel like you and JJ were kind of like, it is what it is.
At that point, yeah. And it was just, we were friends, and it was like, it is what it is. And it was like, then did you realize that the island we were on was like rat infested?
No.
Yeah. You know those big holes?
Wait, oh yeah. Maybe JJ said it.
It was rat infested.
Ew.
Like those big holes.
No wonder I got a staph infection. Just kidding. I didn't. That'd be gross. I didn't.
No, I don't know.
No, but that's gross.
But it was rat infested. Like,
ew.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Why did they put us there?
Because JJ was a rat. I don't know. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that.
No,
JJ's cool.
That's funny though. That's a good joke. You're just being you. That was so weird but I end up keeping you. But I just hate the 2-on-1s. I hate watching them. I hate being a part of them. They're always the dreaded one. But I thought you two handled it really well. Was that what we saw? Was you guys handling it pretty well? Was it like that in real life?
Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're just going to send us home on a rat-infested island?
Yeah, that should be devastating.
At that point, we'd been through quite a lot. So that was probably, week 7, maybe?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
You were like, okay, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like, you kind of, like I said, you get used to everything. You kind of know what's going to happen, and it just makes it easier. Did
you know that you were going to stay and that JJ was going to go home? Or did you have a feeling?
I mean, I had a gut feeling. Yeah. I mean, I kind of felt like that the odds were in my favor. Yeah. But you really don't know. You really, you don't really know. So until it actually happens. Because you're like, at that point, JJ was like a bit of a villain. And so you're like, usually they'll either keep the villain and look like idiots or they send the villain home. So it really kind of is up in the air, but it'd be silly to keep the villain. Also, how did you feel about the Broadway date? I feel like that was a little outside of your comfort zone, singing Aladdin. A little bit out of my comfort zone. I knocked down a stage prop. Do you remember that? I do. You and who else was who made me laugh? Cupcake. You two on that date. The worst group dates. Like, it was just brutal. We did the comedy thing too. You didn't like that? I like that. You did really well. Yeah, that was more in my alley, and I think that gave me enough confidence and momentum to kind of venture off and kind of let everyone know where I stood. Yeah. I did 8 group dates. Did you really? Yeah. Oh, that's a lot. Or 7 or 8. That's a lot. Because then you also had a 3-on-1, which also sucks. And then I had the other 3-on-1 was after the 2-on-1 like a week later. And then at that point, when it was Sean Booth and Nick, I said, "Sayonara, boys. I'm out of here after this." We got out of the van. I said, "I'll see you guys in a couple of months." It was like I was going to war or something. You wrote them a letter. Yeah, I was like, I'm out of here at this. They was like, "Oh, you never know, Joe." I was like, "Come on, man. Like, let's be realistic." That's funny. Sean Booth. I think too, like, I also knew that you were really into Sean Booth. Yeah. Like week 2. And I was like, yeah, just go for the ride. Let's see what happens. And I think a lot of the guys felt that way. I think that you could see it. You knew that there was something there. Yeah. It's so interesting though, because I try and look back on my only other example would be what I was a part of was Chris Soule's season. And I really didn't see that. So him and Whitney end up together, but I didn't really see their relationship the way that you guys saw ours. I don't know. It was like so obvious that I was into Sean, but I feel like everyone kind of has said the same thing. Everyone knew. It's probably going to be Sean. We're just kind of here for the ride. Plus, we all got along. Like, I loved you guys so much. Yeah. It was the best. It was so much fun. We all got along. And then even when Nick got there and he was there for maybe week 2, like, everything was cool with him. Like, I was just like, whatever. And then he was actually my roommate. Oh, was he? The night in Ireland when you guys went on y'all's date. Oh, shit. I knew some stuff too. Well, I bet. Uh-huh. Which of the guys from the season do you still talk to? With it being 10 years. Yeah. I think we've all kind of faded away. I know. It's kind of sad, but everyone gets back to their old lifestyle. But for the first, 3 or 4 years, I would say in contact with Sean Booth, Ben H., Tanner, obviously, and JJ from here to there. Yeah. And then, like I said, with time, everyone kind of goes back to normal life, 10 years is. Do you feel like you're back to your normal life? Yes and no. Yeah. Obviously, of course, my little stint in paradise didn't fare too well. Well, we'll get into that. Oh, great. Wonderful. I just want to know before we move on, what was your favorite because you were a group date bandit. You got on all of them. Date groupie. Yeah, you really were. Man, what was your favorite one? For me, they were all fun in their own way. Yeah. You can't just really pick one because they all, I don't know. Were you on the rap battle? I was not. No, you weren't. Okay. No, I wasn't on that one. I feel like you would have done a good job with that one. Yeah, you would have crushed that one. And then we had the group date in San Antonio with the mariachi band. Yeah. Oh yeah, that one was great. Oh yeah. Thought of the "Will you mariachi me" at the end? Oh man, that was so good. You crushed that one. This episode of Off the Vine is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Now, you made the smart, and may I say very smart choice to hit play today on this podcast. And Progressive is all about helping people make smart choices. So, when you're trying to figure out
car insurance and your brain just goes, bleh, samesies. But Progressive makes it so much easier with a tool called Auto Quote Explorer. So basically, you type in your info, it shows your Progressive quote alongside quotes from other companies. So that way you're not clicking around 20 different tabs and spiraling. God, I relate to that. And they do the research for you. So you compare and boom, you pick the best rate. It's giving organized, it's giving financially savvy, it's giving, I've got that part of my life together. So once you're done with this episode, do yourself a favor, head to progressive.com and check it out. That's progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. All right, you guys know how much I love entertaining people, hosting people, having guests over parties, especially in the summer. Give me sunshine, give me a spritz, the pups running around in the yard, jumping in the pool, good company. That right there is my happy place. It really is. So whether it's going to be like a chill girls' night or a little backyard hang or just setting up the cutest space to vibe with my dogs, oh, I could do that all day, every day. Wayfair has been my one-stop shop. As you guys know, they have everything for outdoor entertaining, patio tables, grills, cozy lounge chairs, cute string lights, even lawn games for when my friends come over and we pretend we're competitive athletes. Okay, I am, but we'll see about them. Okay, Worth is. I just got the cutest outdoor conversation set from Wayfair. I'm telling you, totally transformed the old patio. It feels like outdoor living room now. And add obviously a glass of wine, pups curled up next to me. Have you ever heard of a little place called Heaven? That's it. And I wish I could invite you guys all over. And if you know I'm all about convenience, Wayfair's delivery is fast, free, so easy, even for the big stuff. I was actually genuinely shocked at how quick it came, zero stress. So if you're looking to elevate your backyard for summer hangs, Wayfair's got your back. Every style, every budget, all in one place. So shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to explore a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Bachelor in Paradise. That's a whole other story for you because you had so much fun on Bachelorette. Such a good experience. How did it feel going into Paradise? Because you're probably excited. Like, I get to just hang out with everybody. You don't know like how different of an experience is going to be. Did you feel it while you were there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Obviously when you're going to Paradise, as a man, I have my own insecurities. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect or anything, but I thought in my mind that if I sent a message, a DM to someone and started chit chatting, I could get ahead of the competition.
Yeah.
Little did I know that they were going to crucify me for that and drag me across the coals, but that's what happened.
Right.
And nowadays it's like the norm, like everybody does it.
It's like weird if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was insecure. I wanted to get ahead of the competition. And I think too, at that point, I just wanted to find my person, and I think that just was willing to do kind of almost whatever to find that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, a lot of the guys from my season had talked me up so much around the group that it was kind of hard to fulfill those shoes. They had, Joe's so funny, is so great.
Right.
And then when I get to Paradise, it's like 1 a.m, 12:30, 1 a.m. Everyone's hung over. They've gotten. Oh,
because they've already, you're a latecomer. Yeah. Got it.
75% of them have been asleep.
They've
been woken up and they're like, dude, who is this dude? Like, nobody wants to be there. And of course, they hand me the date card and it had been raining a little bit and the ink had smeared. And of course, it made it look like I couldn't read. That was embarrassing. Tanner had to finish. I was like, what does this say? And he was like, he read it. So that looked bad. It was a combination of things, Yeah. And I screwed up in my own way. I should have went in with an open mind, open heart.
Well,
and just played it out that way. But I thought that I could cheat the system, so to speak. And they weren't going to let that happen.
Were you shocked at how awful Bachelor Nation turned on you, like the fans?
I guess
I was sad for you.
For a little bit, yeah, I was. And, when you're kind of the life of the party, even before the Bachelorette, like when you're the life of the party, you're kind of the comedian. Everyone kind of looks up to you, that way. And then all of a sudden, everyone turns on you. It definitely, you feel like a certain type of way. Like, there was many months after Paradise had aired that there was depression.
Of course.
Definitely wanted to crawl underneath a rock and hide.
Yeah.
I wanted to isolate myself from other people. I didn't want to really do anything outside of the house. It affected employment.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't want to hire someone with my resume on reality TV.
Right.
So it was a couple of rough years there.
Yeah. No, that's actually really heavy if you think about it, because you're just going in there thinking you want to find your person, which is the point of, like, that's what they want out of the show. And it affects your life after, to a point that you're, suffering from depression. You're not getting a job. How did you come out of that?
I was very fortunate that my family was there.
Yeah.
Family was huge. And then with time heals everything.
Yeah.
I was able to kind of get back
forget.
and kind of get back into the flow of the thing. And then as soon as you think that you're starting to kind of get ahead of the curve a little bit, there's always, weren't you on Paradise?
Yeah. Oh, no.
And you're like, just punch him right in the face and keep walking. No, I didn't punch him, but it was definitely tough. It really was. And then you go from being one of the most liked, bachelors in franchise history to being top 3 villain. And it was definitely a very unique experience.
Yeah, because you also probably we didn't have Instagram stories. You were under contract. You couldn't use your own voice.
No, absolutely not.
To stand up for yourself.
And I still to this day think it's funny because Jade and Tanner, they talked before they went on the show.
Right.
But nothing was ever said about them.
Right.
And now look at them.
And that's literally why you got so hated on.
Yeah. And now they have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Beautiful mansion in Los Angeles or wherever, just living the best life.
Yeah. I know. I think about that often with, for example, how slut shamed I got, and then Hannah Brown getting celebrated. But I'm like, that's a different story for me, because I actually was happy she got celebrated for that. But it is confusing when you're like, why did I get so hated, to the point where people were finding where you lived and doing awful things to your house when you're
I received hate mail.
Yes. Didn't people throw dead animals in your yard?
Yeah. I put a dead possum on my parents' mailbox. Dude, it was weird. It was a weird time. Really weird.
Illegal.
And obviously it has to be somebody in the community that knew who I was. And people were so quick to turn how could you make our community look like this? Well, first off, bitch, this is me. This ain't got nothing to do with you.
And you're watching a reality TV show.
Reality TV show. Let's get a grip on life. It's not real.
Did it almost put things into perspective for you when you got through it and moved forward? You're like, okay, I can do anything. This is more real life now.
Absolutely. Yeah. It definitely strengthens you, makes you strong.
Yeah.
And at that time, I've always felt like I was destined for something great. Whatever it was at the time. I went on The Bachelorette. I thought maybe that's what it was. But I've always been told, you need to do stand-up comedy. You need to get your own, whatever. Yeah. But it's just really, nothing's really been, I don't know. It's never been really easy. I just haven't really found my way yet, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just off the grid, doing my own thing.
I bet you I would trade you in a second. Everybody always wants what they... What?
You wouldn't trade my life.
No, okay, I probably wouldn't. But
I see the G-Wagon in the driveway. Come on.
Okay, but I also do crave a little quiet, simple life.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I don't know. I've always felt like I've been kind of destined for more.
Well, what would you like to do?
I don't know. No.
I want to help you figure this out.
We got plenty of time. We'll figure it out.
We've got time. I have a bracelet that says you have time. I just feel like you do. You have all the time in the world.
I think you really do. I think if you rush into things, that just, I don't know.
I feel like a lot of you need to hear this. Is your brain doing cartwheels at night, maybe middle of the night, thinking about your to-do list, your early alarm, or just existing? Because samesies. But I have found something that actually helps me unwind and melt into my bed. I take this very seriously. It's the signature sheets from Boll & Branch. I'm not even joking. These sheets are like butter. They're made from 100% organic cotton, no weird toxins, and they somehow get softer every time you wash them. I thought that was a lie when I first heard that, but I've been using them for years now. I don't know how it's possible, but maybe it's magic. So you can feel the quality right away. It's not those soft sheets that pill after one wash. These are the real deal. And honestly, once I upgraded to Boll & Branch, my bed just hits different. It's cozy girl heaven. Also, they're ethically made, PS, by actual artisans who are paid fair wages, which makes me feel even better about diving into bed and staying in as long as humanly possible. So if you're a hot sleeper, they also have these percale sheets. They are crisp, they are cool, they are breathable, perfect for summer nights when you wake up feeling like a human toaster. Been there. Perimenopause. Oh! Real thing. So if you've been waiting for a sign to level up your sleeping situation, here it is. Get the best savings of the season during Boll and Branch's annual summer event. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/vine. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/vine to save 20% and unlock free shipping. Limited time only, exclusions apply. Well, let's move on to life after the franchise. What is Joe Bailey doing? What does a Monday to Friday look like for you right now?
Just working in the horse racing industry.
Yeah. You're still in the horse racing industry?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go to the Derby?
No, it's because it's kind of my job. I don't really, it's like if you're a football player, do you go to a football game on your day off?
Okay. That's
you know what I mean? Like
great point.
Yeah.
Do you like doing it?
Yeah. I mean, it's enjoyable at times. It's a job.
Yeah. Well, what exactly do you do for it?
So as when horses go into the starting gate, I lead them into the starting gate and direct them and make sure they have a safe start, equal start. Yeah.
Oh, I want a horse. Do you think I could handle having a horse full time? Yeah. Really? It's my 5-year plan. Do people still recognize you?
Not as much now.
Yeah.
Not as much now.
I feel like if you started talking, they would.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, obviously if I would, do some more stuff on social media, I kind of just.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Those 10 years, I just really, that Bachelor in Paradise really kind of screwed me up in the head. Like, it really did. And I just kind of climbed into the rock and hid. I really did. Like I didn't post anything. I didn't look at anything. I watched a couple of seasons. I watched Ben H when he was the Bachelor.
Yeah.
And I watched a little bit when Nick was the Bachelor. And then after that, I'm over it, done with it. I just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, well, no kidding.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry you went through that.
But it was my fault though. I mean, I screwed. I should have just been myself. I shouldn't have tried to be something that I wasn't.
Yeah, but it doesn't deserve the level of hate.
No, it doesn't. The hate that I received was
unacceptable.
Ridiculous. Like 10,000 direct messages on Instagram.
Of people just awful. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking about life now. Happy times. So are you dating?
I do have a girlfriend.
And?
Everything's great.
Oh, that's nice. How did you two meet?
Well, we both work in the horse racing industry.
Oh, cute.
So we kind of met there, and I don't know, she's kind of been my backbone. She was there for me when I was kind of down and out and needed someone. And
really? Oh, you've known her that long?
Yeah, she's a special one.
Aww. Oh, I'm happy. I would love to meet her. So I guess at the end of the day, are you grateful you did it?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I wish things would have turned out differently. But at the end of the day, like that's an opportunity that you can't pass up.
Yeah. No, I agree. You were truly like you and Jared to me were like the comedic relief that I needed.
Sure.
You weren't just that, but you were, I needed someone to laugh with. And I was so stressed out the majority of the time, but I knew if I was hanging out with Joe, I was going to be laughing. So thank you for that.
Well, I'll be.
Yeah. Well, I'll be. That was the one.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. You're right.
That was it.
Well,
yeah.
I'll be. Yeah. I'm going to start saying that. Well, I'll be. You know what else I like when people say is howdy. Do you say howdy?
Not really, no. That's kind of, I don't know. No, not howdy.
Howdy. I just think it's a funny howdy. And I just started saying y'all in the past couple years. Feels right.
Y'all?
Yeah.
It kind of fits you. I mean, you're
think so?
a Nashvilleian now.
I am. I've been here 9 years. I feel like
You've been here 9 years?
9. I moved here as soon as Sean and the show stopped airing.
And you've been here ever since.
Okay. We're going to wrap it up with a little bit of fun. What do you think you learned about yourself during this whole time on TV?
I guess just be true to yourself, in those situations.
I feel like that was a hard lesson for you.
You get comfortable and you think, oh, I can do this and do that. But in reality TV, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And
yeah,
that was a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah. But you're on the other side.
Right.
Yeah. I love that you don't have to say her name, but your girlfriend was your backbone and there for you during tough times.
She was.
That's really sweet. What advice would you give someone thinking about going on the next season of The Bachelorette?
Be yourself.
Yes.
Obviously, 100%. Be yourself. Be charismatic.
Yeah.
And something that I wish that I would have done when I was on The Bachelorette was just slow down, take it all in, and enjoy the moment. I think that we were also worried about, we're going to get eliminated this week. That you forget to have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there.
That's a good point.
I was there 8.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And it went by so fast because you're so tense and nervous and your anxiety's through the roof. But yeah, just be yourself and enjoy the moment.
I think somebody gave me, I can't remember who told me, but someone said to enjoy the moment. And I remember every day in the mansion, I would wake up and I would journal and I would look at the like lighting and I would be like, hey, remember this. And I would take every little thing in about
Really?
like,
That's
yeah,
good.
now I like to fall asleep. Sometimes I'll walk through the mansion and like, remember like the cookie jars and the candy jars and like
absolutely.
all the drawers in the kitchen and everything I can like picture inside the fridge because I really took it all in that
That's
moment.
awesome.
And I
Now, is the mansion
journaled.
still there? I thought it burned down.
It almost burned down. The half of the driveway burned down and where the production like house was burned down. But the mansion is still going strong. I was like, because that was not the recent fires, but the fires before that is when it almost burnt down. And I was like, is this like a symbol? Because Sean and I broke up and then that's where we got engaged. And then I was like, and now it's burning down. And so did our relationship. Oh God. But no, it's still going. They filmed the Golden Bachelorettes and Bachelors there
Yeah,
now.
I saw that was a thing too.
Yeah. That's also my 10-year plan. Be the Golden Bachelor. I'm just kidding. Could you
You're really
imagine?
going to milk it, huh?
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Hey, you know a thing or two about milking?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you milk cows? Did you?
What? No. I'm
Oh
not a
my
farmer.
God. Didn't you grow up on a farm?
No.
Oh.
Uh-uh.
You never milked a cow?
So when you first said that, you're like, you know, a thing or two about milking. I was like,
You're like, what a weird thing
I thought that
to
was a
say.
sexual, like a sexual advance or something. I was like, what? I was like, you've been on my search history on my phone? Like, what have you been? And then you're like, then you used to milk cows. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I didn't want that to get out. Like, just ordered a milking table off Amazon last week. $7.50. I thought you knew about it. I was like, but now everyone's going to know about it now. Jeez.
A milking table. I can't breathe. I did a podcast with my friend. Actually, it was his radio show, and I giggled so hard that they had to like cut to commercials and go to like a song because I couldn't stop laughing.
Really?
Yeah, I got the giggles so bad. I feel like that's happening to me right now. I got the giggles. You're funny. You're still funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just gotta do something with it. You know, gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
I know. Well, why don't you get into stand-up? I feel like I could see you doing that. I could actually really see you doing stand-up.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been told I've been kind of like the generic Theo Vaughn.
Oh yeah.
Kinda,
You have
sorta.
that like dry, like
That
and you just
dry sense of humor,
but
that
genuine
dark-
that you don't
yeah.
even realize it's being fun. It's
Mhm.
funny. Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. Okay, well, let's do it for you. Let's get something going.
We can do it.
Okay. Well, maybe
We'll
this
figure something
podcast
out.
can juice you up.
Oh yeah, juice me up. I can get some more dead possums on a mailbox or
God.
something.
Yeah, if you are that psychopath, because those fans are loyal. So
Dude,
even
they're
like they're probably
unreal.
watching you right now.
Probably.
Yeah. So if you're the weirdo that threw the dead possum on
So yeah,
as
like
parents,
so when obviously whoever reached out to me, I was like, geez, not this shit again. I was like, God.
for this,
Yeah, I was like, here we go again. I was like, it's been 10 years. You not leave me alone. I was like, God, you guys just coming for blood? So then after I talked to my friends, I was like, man, you should do it. Like, you know, you never know what might happen.
yeah,
You might become funny. They might see who you really are. It might open a door or two.
yeah,
And I was like, you know, let's give it a shot. Why not?
yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did do it. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
It's really nice chatting to you. And I'm like, thank you for opening up about going through hard times and then also still being funny. You're a well-rounded human.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Sure. What?
Well, I'll be.
Well, I'll be
I'm
Joe
glad You
Bailey.
got to see my ball sack.
Yeah.
That's still the conversation and topic 10 years later.
Well, I mean, now we really know each other.
Yeah, we really did.
You said you would like to be buddies with me and go to sports games. So
I honestly really think we could be BFFs. I swear. Like, and I
I
told,
think so too.
like,
Yeah.
just lay on the couch, drink wine, and I can talk about my girl problems. You can talk about your guy problems. Like, I really could see it. That could be hilarious.
I can see it too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your next thing is we have a TV show of us just getting drunk and
Yeah.
talking about